Coach, I know you're involved with Santa Clara University and you come back a lot, and I really do appreciate that, as I know my team does, seeing you at our practices, at some of our games, and just being around, just being a friendly face to see. So I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite thing about Santa Clara?
Well, there are a lot of things. You know, I came here in 1963 really as a graduate of San Jose State. I played at San Jose State, which is, in those days, we were big rivals, played twice a year.
Okay.
And both student bodies were, you know, heckling one another. And yeah, and I'm saying, what am I doing at Santa Clara? But it's an interesting question because right away, the people here really attracted me. The students, they're so competitive, you know, in terms of what they were doing in the classroom, but the type of youngsters that you have here, that's what really attracted me. But we had great teachers, the priests, the coaching staff. I just fell in love with Santa Clara, and I never left. I had opportunities to, but I never left.
That's interesting, because the one thing that drew me in is that I felt like I was a part of a family when I came here, with the students, the coaches, and even the teachers that I've had throughout my years. And now my family's telling me, they're wondering if I'm going to come back to Chicago at all. So I don't know the answer to that. I might stay out here just like you did.
Well, yeah, it's a little soon for you to make that decision, but yeah, let's see what kind of opportunities. I think there'll be some opportunities for you here in terms of not only basketball, but other things too. So get yourself ready if basketball doesn't work out, you know, and I think you've been doing something. In fact, I was really pleased in how you reacted to the Nations Awards the other night and spoke for the students. I thought it was wonderful.
Thank you so much.
You did a great job. Yeah.
I appreciate that. So, Coach, as you know, I'll be an upperclassman next year. It's weird to think it's gone by already this fast, the first 2 years. And I was wondering if you could give me any advice on some leadership skills for on the court and off the court.
Well, that's interesting you ask about that. Yeah, you lost some senior leadership this year from the team, so you know, try to get everybody involved, you know, and be concerned about all of the players, and make sure you're helping everybody in what you think. Try not to be too obtrusive that you step on them too hard. You know, it's just, hey, have you thought about this, or we've got to do this? Let's bring everybody together. You have good skills. You know how to talk to people.
Thank you.
So just be yourself. Be a good leader that way. And I think people respond to you because they respect you, and just so you treat everybody. The 15th guy needs to be concerned too, and we need his help. And I know I would always felt from our teams that we had some great walk-ons who really helped us. And they were kids that helped us in some way get better, and most of them all improved so much over their period of time. So it's important that they all buy into it, you know, and some of them will be your great leaders later too. They've got skills too that can help you. So yeah, it's a team thing, and that's what I always loved so much about our teams here at Santa Clara, was that the kids got along, they loved one another, and they played hard for each other, you know. So that's a key.
And I think that's one thing that's going to help me even more, is the fact that we have great chemistry and we just all love each other as people. And I think that'll make the transition into being one of the main leaders will help even more.
You know, if I was to evaluate your team last year, I'd say that was really a key. Your kids were really together. They really helped each other. The bench was excellent. I always used to scout our bench to make sure and so I would always look at the bench. Your bench was excellent in terms of that, but you played hard, and your defense, you always gave it a great effort defensively, and that was key. I thought that was really, really good.
Yeah, I think just like you said with the bench, all of our players, like, we got excited for one another, no matter if it was a big play, an offensive play or defensive play. And I think our coaches preached that to us to make sure that we're showing excitement for each other.
It was very, very apparent.
Exactly.
Very apparent.
Yeah. So I'm glad you noticed that. But like you said, with the leadership, you know, we're going to have no seniors next year. considering that Yannick didn't get his 6th year to come back. So it's just going to be interesting because as juniors, we're going to be able to be leaders a little bit early than most people would. They would start being leaders as seniors. So we'll get the little head start, and I think that'll help us going into our senior year as well.
Well, I think you guys were leaders early anyway. I mean, you pulled together as a group. And it's apparent the coaches preached that to you. I mean, we could see that as spectators. At least I could, and I thought that was a key ingredient. And one thing that I liked so much about your team was the way they help one another defensively, and you talked, aggressive. It's hard to teach that to some kids. Some teams don't play that hard, you know. So that's a real plus.
I appreciate that, Coach. What was your most favorite game and most exciting game since you've been here as a coach?
Well, there's so many. I hate to, if I was just going to say one that bounces out at me right away was when we played USF here in Tosa Pavilion. USF was #1 in the country, and they had 3 pros on the team. Terrific game. Kurt Rambis was a freshman, and our kids played their heart out. We led the whole game. The place was packed and jammed. The noise was just terrific, and we went right down to the wire, and we led, and one of our players missed a free throw and bounced out. Chubby Cox, their guard, dribbled the length of the court and hit a shot that beat us by 1 at the buzzer when they were ranked #1 in the country. But that was a great game. But we had others. We had wins. A win over UCLA, for example, at UCLA was a terrific game. That was in the Vanos, Lamson, Keeling era.
Okay.
But we beat Stanford, we beat USC, we beat a lot of teams over the years. So all of those games are memorable, and whenever you beat St. Mary's, I agree with you. And USF was the same thing, and so there's a lot of memories that flood my mind, and I don't like to pinpoint one game nor say this guy was my favorite player, because all of our players contributed so much and worked so hard that I feel good about all of them.
Yeah.
And to see their growth and when they come back now with their children, it's great.
It's good to see them grow as people as well.
Yes, that's right.
Because you've seen them so much on the court.
Absolutely.
Now to see them off the court, how they're doing.
Absolutely.
It's just a great accomplishment. Some may not know that you were a coach, but you were also an athletic director. So tell me how that transition was from doing so.
Well, it's interesting. They're not totally different. You're dealing with so many teams. People ask me when I was the athletic director if I missed coaching, and I said, yeah, it was a lot easier. I had more time off. Yeah. But you're involved with so many sports, and the overall picture is so important, and budgets, and how each coach is trying to succeed. And here at Santa Clara, a lot of the coaches had less money to operate on than some of their competitors. So we had to try to build that up as best we can, and it's still in the process. But it was a very rewarding experience. Got to meet more kids, more players on all the teams. We went to softball games, we went to a lot of soccer games. We did it all, and my wife was involved, and I thought that was really important. And the kids will tell you, even the kids on your teams used to make cookies. And the cookies were sort of a introduction for her, which got her involved with all the teams, and it helped me, especially at home. Yeah. But it helped in the transition of the kids knowing that we really cared about their program, and that's really a key thing. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and we got to meet more alums. And we got a great alumni group here at Santa Clara.
Terrific.
Yes, as you know, and you saw that the other night, and it's so important. I think it's one of the things that really attracted me to Santa Clara when I first came here from a large school, say San Jose State, that the involvement of people and the love for the school and how they gave back. You don't find that a lot of places, and I thought that was really key.
So, Coach, taking things away from basketball, and now that you're you know, settled in and not doing as much right now. I want to know what it is that you like to do for hobbies, things that make you relax. I can tell you mine is playing ping pong. Yeah, I know. Like when I don't have to do anything basketball related or schoolwork, I like to just take some time and just play ping pong.
Well, that's good. You can just focus on trying to get the ball back, huh?
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I try to keep busy, and we already talked about involvement with basketball through the NIT, which is really key. It keeps me thinking the game a little bit. But I do a lot of things. I play golf, and I try to play golf three times a week. I try to walk so I can stay in shape and stay ahead of the posse, so to speak.
Yeah, I know you were talking about golf right there. And I was wondering, I'm starting to think that I'm going to get into golf soon after I'm done playing basketball, because my dad just retired and he started picking up golf now. So every time I go back home, he tries to get me to get into it, and we go to the range together. And it makes me frustrated because I'm not good at it yet, but it seems like something that I'll do once the shot stops going in the basket.
Well, it's a chance for you to stay competitive. You're competing with yourself. I used to tell our players this all the time. All of you should learn how to play golf and should have to go through the process, because you can't make excuses and blame it on anybody else. He didn't throw the ball to me. It's all you, baby. And that's a key issue, I think. You know, so you have to take full responsibility for your own actions in this case. So, yeah, I love the game from that standpoint.
That's good. I never thought about that. It teaches you responsibility.
Right.
So, Coach, I got to ask you my signature question, which I've asked everybody that's been on my show before.
Wow.
And you nervous?
I'm nervous.
No reason to be nervous. My signature question is, who do you think you look like? If you had to choose somebody, who would that person be?
Wow. I've never approached that question. Why?
It makes people think. They never have to think about who they look like.
I couldn't answer that.
Put you on the spot, huh?
Yeah. Well, I guess the best thing would be to pick some famous movie star, Rock Hudson or somebody like that.
Okay.
But, no, I
never really thought about
no.
it. Huh? Well, that's a question that you can go back and think about sometime, and we'll get back with it.
All that the time that I have to think about things, I'll ponder that. Okay.
And we'll talk again.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Coach. I just want to say thank you for talking with me and walking around this campus. I really enjoyed it.
Well, thank you for inviting me, because this is one of my favorite sites, as you know, and what a beautiful place. I mean, all these new buildings, it's changed so much since I was here, and I really thank you for the opportunity to come back and talk with you.
No problem.
And we're looking forward to next season, huh?
Most
Good
definitely.
luck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the history that you taught me as well. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, we love seeing you.
All right.
You're a good man.
Thank you.
Growing up in our family, it was always a given that I would attend college. You can imagine my family's excitement when I was accepted into Santa Clara and offered the Carroll Williams Endowed Scholarship. I'm a big Michael Jordan fan, and I'm sure you might be a Magic Johnson fan. Which one would you choose if you had to choose between the two, and why?
That's not even a question for me. I would choose the Lakers.